Hey, Warren here. Welcome back to Black Sea Garage. Today I'm going to be changing out the rear sway bar on the Camaro in preparation for the Summit Autocross week coming up in July. I'm mostly doing this out of necessity. The rear sway bar was the only piece of stock equipment left on the suspension, but I thought it was plenty big enough. Wendy had scarfed it for me from a U-Pull-It junkyard. It came out of a Super Duty Trans Am, so it's plenty thick enough, but the stock mounting points just aren't holding up and they're starting to buckle, so it's got to go. What I decided to do is I've got an adjustable rear sway bar kit from UMI Performance, and that's what I'm going to throw on today. I got introduced to UMI through their sponsorship of the Summit Autocross week. They have a lot of really strong products, and I purchased a set of their motor mounts last year, and I was impressed with the quality and the fit. It was perfect. Also, along the way, meeting a lot of people. There's a lot of racers using UMI equipment. So I was really planning on trying their stuff out on Project Firebird. But as long as I broke something on the Camaro, it's a perfect excuse to try out one of their new sway bar kits. Here's what it looks like all out of its wrapping paper. Really nice. Looks really high quality stuff. I'm ready to get it right on the car right now. I've had this sway bar on the car for years and it's worked great. It's actually a GM unit, heavy duty. It came off a Super Duty Trans Am. Wendy gave it to me years ago. It's held up really well, but the problem is up here on the support. The support is starting to bow pretty bad right here under the vicissitudes of my poor driving and how tough it is on Autocross week. So they have a natural little bend to begin with for alignment purposes, but that kind of creates a weak area, and the other side's starting to bow pretty bad. So I'm gonna zip this out of here. I'm gonna use a couple 9/16 wrenches here, get these off. I'm not even gonna bother to take this off, and then I'll use a 3/4 gun and zip these down and yank this right out of here. Once you have the two top brackets down and you have one side pulled out, you can just wiggle out the sway bar, and then you'll come back and get these two bolts out after. When I disassembled the driver's side and I took this off, I'm sure you could see where the spring perch kind of relaxed a little bit. So for safety's sake, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put up the replacement piece right now and bolt it up in. This is much heavier than the original. There's really no urethane bushing. It's all solid. It's gonna be much stronger, no flex whatsoever. So I'm gonna bolt this on the driver's side, run the nuts back up, tighten it back up, and then I'll go ahead and do the other side. That way everything will stay nice and safe. Here's a look at it installed on the passenger side. I got both sides done. I did one side at a time. They're both nice and tight again, so I don't have any safety concerns. I can go ahead and start on the top brackets. First thing I need to do is to replace these original stock stamped steel brackets with these really nice brand new heavy duty units. Here's the new bracket ready to get bolted in. It does have a little bit of a slot, so make sure you get them centered up nice, and use the supplied hardware and torque it down to 40 foot-pounds. With the upper frame rail brackets in, we can put these supports up and in. Main thing to remember is they do come with two black spacers, one on each side. Make sure you use those. Come with a much bigger bolt. It's much more heavy duty. And when you install this, make sure the flag side of it is pointing toward the inside of the car. All the hardware is installed. These are on, nice and tight. Retorque these to 70 pounds. Everything else on the kit gets torqued to 40 pounds. These bolts up here, the bolts that hold this on here, everything else is torqued to 40 pounds according to the directions. So with all this stuff on both sides, I am ready to hang the sway bar. I'm going to attach the bottom of the sway bar first to the spring perch. As suggested, I used the farthest hole first. I also made sure I had their aluminum spacer the right way. I got both sides in. Now I'm going to flip it up and I will attach the center portions. When you're getting everything in place, remember to use the grease to keep these things from squeaking. And also take your time. Make sure the brackets all look like they're lined up in relation to each other and everything looks straight. And when you're confident everything looks straight and looks good, go ahead and torque it down to 40 pounds. I'm gonna get my torque wrench out now. This brings us to the end of this upgrade. I'm really happy with it. Everything's torqued down tight. I don't have any parts left over. The sticker's in the middle where it ought to be. So I'm very excited about it. I think this will help a lot this year with the autocross racing, and I cannot wait to get out and try it out.